Yo, welcome back. In this video, I want to introduce you to a game-changing tool. This sampler allows you to upload up to 2000 samples and uses AI to sort them based on their sonic similarities. So in this video, we are going to explore a couple of things. First, why this tool is redefining sampling. Second, what does AI mean in the context of sampling? We'll compare this tool to other samplers. And fourth, let's explore if this sampler is for you.
Do you like MaxV? Then you would love my MaxV Workshop, where you will learn how to craft mind-blowing sounds, mix like a pro, and discover powerful MaxV devices to level up your Ableton setup. Get your tickets now.
Coalescence offers more than just basic sample triggering. Points, rings, and path modes enable dynamic transitions and evolving textures by moving across clusters of samples or creating smooth pathways between them. This opens up new possibilities for sound design and composition. We'll start by exploring the different modes. Let's drop a couple of samples into the sampler. So I have a library with some cool ethnic loops. Let's drop 4 of them into right here. Points is similar to a traditional sampler. Place the nearest sample to the cursor. For each sample, you can change its volume, its tuning. You can either use fine tune or change its semitones. You can also change the sensitivity of the slicing. This is very similar to the slice mode in Ableton Simpler, where in a high percentage you will have more slices and with a low percentage you will have less slices. You can even reverse the sample. As we said, this device can hold up to 2000 samples. You can toggle between the pages right here. Next, let's move to rings. Each ring is assigned to a specific note. Control or Command and click to change the radius of the rings. With bigger radius, the ring will randomize the notes within the cluster. Manual mode allows to change the assigned note and the size of each ring. You can click and drag to change the position of the ring, or if you press Shift and click, you can delete a ring. Let's say that I've changed the order of the rings. So now D3 is here, C is in the middle, and C3 is on the right. If I press reorder, now this ring will be C, this will be C sharp, and this will be D. Next, let's explore path. Path allows you to draw a path between the clusters for each note on the keyboard. Double-click to create a point, Shift and click to delete a point. If you go to the playback, turn loop on, and let's change the size to something fairly small, so each path is looping a lot quicker. So now that we know a bit how the sampler works, you might ask yourself, what does AI actually means in the context of sampling and with a sampler? So Coalescence uses neural network to listen to your samples and automatically group them based on their sonic similarities. Think of it as an AI assistant helping you organize and unlock the hidden relationships within your sound library. I would generally keep the parameters in these tabs as they are by default and use the More button to train the network. I would recommend taking the time to play around with the different parameters as it can be fairly complex to grasp. Let's talk about the different features that it has. So we have Chroma, Mel, Bark, and Speech. Let's start with Mel and Bark. Mel and Bark analyze the samples based on the frequency spectrum, so those modes are best for drums, percussions, and noise. Essentially, it's grouping the samples here based on their frequency. So play around and choose which one sounds better to you. Let's load another instance of the plugin and let's drop samples with a melodic or harmonic content. Let's head back to the Network tab and let's change from Bark to Chroma. Chroma will analyze the samples based on the chromatic scale, so it's best for harmonic and melodic samples. As you can see, you can get really cool results with each one of these features, so take your time, play around with it. You don't have to use Bach for just percussions, and you don't have to use Chroma just for harmonic content. Speech will organize the vowels by their vowel similarity. In order to demonstrate that, I threw a speech sample into this plugin.
Let's
go to the playback. Let's make the loop really small. If you toggle the transient only off, it will remove all of the segments of the samples. So as you can see, this is grayed out now. It will take quite a lot of time because there's a lot of samples, and soon we will have a lot of dots appearing in this box. Nice. Be aware that if you have a lot of samples, so we said the sampler can hold up to 2000 samples, you only have space for up to 2500 cells right here. So this will be really good to morph between sounds. Next, let's move to the Playback tab. The Playback tab in Coalescence is where the magic happens, transforming your samples into evolving and unexpected sonic journeys. You can have up to 16 voices. Let's reverse the sample. And you can go back to here and reverse it the other way. The piano symbol will determine if the device will change the pitch according to the incoming note or will just play the original samples. If we have nearest toggled on, the nearest sample to the cursor will be playing. If we have under toggled on, it will only play the sample under the cursor. As you can see, nothing is playing at the moment. The double arrow symbol will loop the sample based on the gap between the slices in the sample tab. Phase vocoder, low speed, will play the sample really slow. Use the attack and decay to gently blend between the samples. Let's increase the attack. Let's turn the phase vocoder off. Note glide is essentially a pitch glide. So before we head to the Modulation tab, let's talk about how this sampler compares to other samplers. Comparing Coalescence to other sampling tools requires considering various factors like your specific needs and existing workflow. Coalescence, neural network powered sorting, sets it apart from traditional samplers. This allows for intuitive exploration and sound discovery based on sonic similarity rather than just file organization or time-based playback. Integrating external audio sources for modulation and control adds another layer of interactivity and responsiveness to your sampling, making Coalescence suitable for live performances and improvisation. Despite its powerful features, Coalescence boasts a clean and intuitive interface, making it accessible to both beginners and experienced producers. If you primarily need a straightforward tool for playback, slicing, and manipulating individual samples, a traditional sampler might be sufficient. Coalescence shares some similarities with granular samplers in its ability to manipulate smaller sound grains. However, Coalescence focuses on grouping these grains based on spectral content, while granular samplers often offer more control over individual grain parameters. So in the Modulation tab, you have two traditional LFOs and two envelopes. You can assign the envelopes and the LFOs to a variety of parameters. Let's assign LFO1 to position X, and let's assign LFO2 to position Y. Let's go back to the source, and let's change this one to random. We'll keep the second one on assign, but let's change it to sync for 1 bar. Let's increase them both to 100%. You also have spray 1 and spray 2, which are essentially a random LFO. Let's try to assign them to the pitch. Let's increase that to 100%. And to the size. Okay, this is absolutely sick. Next, let's head to the Input tab. This allows you to use either an external or internal audio source to control the sampler. So let's set the input from our kick. Let's change this from MIDI to on-set, and let's have a listen. I wouldn't be able to demonstrate the next thing because I'm using my microphone to record this video. You can use your voice to control this plugin if you set it up correctly here. So who is this sampler even for? This device caters to a diverse variety of individuals that wants to explore interesting and new ways to manipulate sounds. There are many more ways to manipulate sounds. And in this video, I want to show you another sick MaxV Live synth that will allow you to manipulate your sounds in a creative and interesting way.